The English Civil War, 1642 to 1651, also known as the War of the Three Kingdoms, was a series of conflicts that engulfed England, Scotland, and Ireland, profoundly altering the political and religious landscape of the British Isles. The war was fought between the forces loyal to King Charles I, the Royalists, and those who supported Parliament, the Parliamentarians. But the conflict soon extended beyond England's borders, drawing in Scotland and Ireland as well. Causes of the conflict. The war was driven by a combination of political, religious, and economic factors. 1. Political struggles. The long-standing conflict between the monarchy and Parliament over who should have supreme authority in England came to a head. Charles I's belief in the divine right of kings clashed with growing calls for parliamentary sovereignty. 2. Religious tensions. England's Protestant establishment was divided between Puritans, who sought further reforms in the Church of England, and more moderate Anglicans. Charles's attempts to impose a more Anglican form of worship across his realms, including Scotland, where Presbyterianism was dominant, led to widespread unrest. 3. Financial issues. Charles I's inability to secure funds through Parliament led him to resort to personal taxation and forced loans, which angered many and further eroded his support. The War of the Three Kingdoms. The conflict, initially fought in England, soon expanded into Scotland and Ireland, becoming a broader war of kingdoms. England, the Royalists, Cavaliers, supporting King Charles I, were primarily made up of nobles, landowners, and Anglicans, while the Parliamentarians, Roundheads, included Puritans, merchants, and the rising middle class. The war in England was marked by several key battles, such as the Battle of Naseby, 1645, where the Parliamentarians, led by Oliver Cromwell, decisively defeated the Royalist forces. Scotland. Scotland initially aligned with the Parliamentarians in 1643, forming the Covenanter Army to resist Charles's religious policies. However, after Charles's defeat in England, the Scottish Covenanters turned against the Parliamentarians, leading to the Second English Civil War, 1648, which saw Scotland's defeat at the hands of Cromwell's forces. Ireland. After the Irish Rebellion of 1641, the Irish Catholics were largely aligned with King Charles I, fighting for their own autonomy and against English Protestant forces. Cromwell's brutal campaigns in Ireland in the late 1640s, particularly the Siege of Drogheda, 1649, left a lasting legacy of violence and bitterness. Key events and figures. Charles I. The king's insistence on his divine right and his decision to raise an army against Parliament led directly to the outbreak of war. His eventual defeat and capture in 1646 set the stage for the dissolution of the monarchy. Oliver Cromwell. Cromwell, a key leader of the Parliamentarian forces, was instrumental in the defeat of the Royalists. He later became the Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, effectively ruling the country after the execution of Charles I in 1649. Execution of Charles I. One of the most dramatic moments of the war was the trial and execution of King Charles I in 1649. His execution marked the end of the monarchy and the beginning of the English Commonwealth, a period of Republican rule. Aftermath and legacy. The end of the English Civil War saw the temporary abolition of the monarchy and the establishment of the Commonwealth of England under Oliver Cromwell. However, the failure of the Republican experiment, combined with the social and religious unrest that followed, led to the eventual restoration of the monarchy in 1660, when Charles II, son of the executed king, was restored to the throne. The war and its aftermath had profound effects on British society. 1. Political change. The war and the execution of Charles I marked the first and only time in English history that a monarch was tried and executed by the state. It set the stage for the eventual rise of a constitutional monarchy in the 17th and 18th centuries. 2. Religious tensions. The war reinforced the deep divisions between different religious factions, particularly between Anglicans, Puritans, and Catholics. These divisions would continue to shape British politics for centuries to come. 3. Social and cultural impact. The war also had a lasting impact on British culture, as it introduced new ideas about government, liberty, and the rights of citizens that would later influence the Glorious Revolution of 1688 and the English Bill of Rights. Conclusion. The English Civil War, or War of the Three Kingdoms, was a pivotal moment in British history, bringing about the temporary end of the monarchy and the rise of the Republic under Oliver Cromwell. The war had far-reaching consequences, including changes in the relationship between the monarchy and Parliament, religious divisions, and the social fabric of England, Scotland, and Ireland. Though the monarchy was restored in 1660, the legacy of the conflict continued to shape British politics and governance for centuries.